Manchester United have done it again.
Manchester United have reached an agreement with Benjamin Sesko on a 5-year contract valid until June.
A £74 million gamble that could turn into the signing of the decade. His name? Benjamin Sesko. Almost 2 meters tall, built like a tower, lightning quick, and blessed with a shot that explodes like thunder.
For Leipzig, Cesco!
Cesco looks engineered for the Premier League. This isn't just another signing, this is a statement. Last season he scored 21 goals and added 6 assists, producing magic nights against European giants like Bayern Munich.
There's a slip from Erling, shoot he says!
And Juventus.
Palla interessante il controllo di Cesco!
Performances that made the whole of Europe stop and take notice.
The young, inexperienced strikers that we have already at the club, how to do things. In times of need, who do they look to? He's going to have to step up and be that guy. Can he do it? Yes.
Physically, he is a nightmare. Tactically, he is a dream. And for United, he carries the aura of a legend. Watching him, you can't help but remember Robin van Persie, the Dutchman, who fired United to Sir Alex Ferguson's last ever Premier League title with 58 goals and 15 assists in just 105 games. Van Persie was the talisman of 2012 to 13. Now, Cesco has been chosen to inherit that crown. United have placed their faith, their money, and their future in him. And make no mistake, the Cesco experiment is not just about goals, it's about bringing back fear to Old Trafford. It's about reviving a giant.
Just that we get better, that we connect together in general, and we as a team, we just try to grow together.
Rivals beware, because this experiment, it might just break the Premier League. So why did Manchester United decide to go all in for Benjamin Cesco? The answer is simple. He is built for greatness. At just 22 years old, Cesco already has 45 appearances and 21 goals in all competitions for Red Bull Leipzig last season, including 13 in the Bundesliga. That's not a gamble. That's proven output at the top level, standing at 195 centimetres 6 feet 5 inches. Cesco is a striker defender's dread. He is quick in a straight line, ruthless in front of goal, and unshakable in duels. He doesn't just score, he bullies defences. Centre-backs hate marking him because he never gives them a moment's peace. His rise has been steady, but explosive. From NK Domzale as a teenager, to 16 goals at Red Bull Salzburg, to becoming one of the Bundesliga's most feared strikers, Cesco has evolved into a diamond forged under pressure. Some call him the next Haaland. And while comparisons are dangerous, the truth is clear. Cesco has the raw tools to one day sit at that level.
I was playing in the youth back then. It was really interesting to look at him because, as I said, he has the same height, you know, and in general, some kind of movements are the same, and at this point you think, I want to be like him.
His shot map tells the story: left foot, right foot, headers, long-range missiles, scrappy finishes in the box. He goes for goal anywhere, anytime. United tracked him for years. In 2019, they saw the spark. In 2022, they watched him dominate Austria. And in 2025, they finally made their move, because Cesco today is not potential, he is power. He is the striker who can restore fear at Old Trafford. Cesco is a confident striker, but still raw. He is not yet the cold-blooded killer who converts every half chance. At times he tries too hard, smashing the ball with unnecessary power when a calm finish would do. His movement inside the 6-yard box can sharpen, and his right-footed strikes from the left channel need polish. Yet defenders never feel safe against him, because he is quick, unpredictable, and always forcing them to second guess. In open space, Cesco is devastating. He is built for counter-attacks, bursting past defenders with that long stride and bulldozing power. Imagine Bruno Fernandes sliding a diagonal ball through. Cesco's pace and size mean United's captain might need to adjust his passes just to keep up. He has also added depth to his game, dropping in to link play. He's not as refined as Alexander Isak or Harry Kane with his back to goal, but for a 6' 5" forward, his feet are far from clumsy. In the air, he is a giant bullying centre-backs, and on the ground he can wriggle past aggressive markers. His shot is thunderous back off him, and he'll fire into the top corner.
By round, header Francesco.
Rush him, and he'll still leave bruises with the sheer power of his strikes. This rawness makes him terrifying. He is not subtle, but he is relentless. In another era, Cesco would be the perfect partner in a 4-4-2 alongside a poacher. In today's game, he can lead the line alone, chasing 15 to 20 goals if he finds rhythm. The challenge is whether he can do it consistently, while also elevating players around him like Cunha and Mbeumo.
The mobility in the front areas now is something, as a defender, I'm looking at and I'm thinking differently about Manchester United's front line. I'll be sitting there going, I'm going to have a physical presence up there, I'm going to have a physical test from all three positions, and I've got people that can run and move up there. They're mobile. They're the things I was asking for the last couple of years up there, more of that.
United have gambled before on project strikers who collapsed under the Old Trafford lights. Sesko is different. At 22, he already has more minutes and goals than Rasmus Højlund had at the same age. But the pressure is real, and only the right coaching will keep him from falling into the same traps. If he is nurtured correctly, Sesko at 29 could be one of the best strikers in the world, better even than Ollie Watkins is today. But the question is not about Sesko's talent. The question is whether Manchester United can finally provide the environment to make it flourish. Physically, Sesko won't struggle in England. He has the frame, the speed, the power. That's not the concern. The real challenge lies in tactics, because Manchester United are still a team in transition. The manager must find the right system, and Sesko will need to adapt quickly inside it.
As well wasn't great. The midfield, in my opinion, probably the biggest thing that needs addressing, even more so than the number 9. I know that people have said that United didn't score many goals last season. They massively underperformed.
For a young striker, the responsibility of being United's number 9 is enormous.
If that makes sense, but Cesco, I think, will become the starting forward. I don't know how many minutes he's played in pre-season, so maybe he's just easing him into the team.
At 22, you're still learning, still making mistakes, still figuring out how to connect with teammates. Sesko doesn't yet have the same chemistry with Bruno Fernandes that Zlatan once had, or the instinctive link-up of an Andy Cole. Those partnerships take time, and without experienced mentors to guide him, the burden becomes heavier. This has been United's recurring mistake in recent years, throwing raw, talented strikers straight into the fire, expecting them to carry the attack alone. Sesko brings unpredictability in and chaos, qualities that can destroy defences, but unpredictability without guidance can also collapse under pressure. The squad lacks the blend of youth and experience that once allowed talent to mature naturally. Sesko has not only come to Old Trafford to score goals, he has come to break a curse that has haunted Manchester United since the days of Robin van Persie, the last striker to smash through the 20-goal barrier in the Premier League.
Eric read it well. Van Persie onto his left. Van Persie.
Back then, Old Trafford was a fortress where forwards struck fear into defenders. Since then, the Red Devils have been trapped in a cycle of disappointment. Name after name has arrived with big promises and left with bigger regrets. Alexis Sanchez, once the jewel of Arsenal, became the highest paid player in England, and yet only managed 5 goals in 45 matches, a shadow of what was expected.
Alexis Sanchez, only 5 goals for Manchester United, went there, they thought that he was going to be the guy to take them to the title.
Radamel Falcao, the feared El Tigre, turned into a little kitten, scoring just 5 times before vanishing into United's dark history. Angel Di Maria came fresh from conquering Europe with Real Madrid, costing a record fee of £75 million. But his time at Old Trafford was a blur of injuries, clashes with Van Gaal, and only 4 goals.
We've seen so many players over the years who have come and just underperformed. I look at Angel Di Maria and I think, wow. I remember his first game away at Burnley. I remember him getting into the dressing room, tight as anything. I remember looking at him thinking, he looked like a little lost soul, bless him. He just got absolutely battered. All over, just battered, just absolutely mullered. Every time he got the ball, whacked. Just never really got United. Maybe the manager didn't help, he didn't get along with the manager, but I've seen so many players, because the shirt's so heavy, that don't perform then go on to do so well in the career.
Memphis Depay, the Dutch sensation, brought hype but left after 1 season with just 7 goals. Shinji Kagawa, the pride of Japan, never adapted, only 6 goals in 2 years. And then came Anthony, the second most expensive signing in United history. £100 million for a winger who never reached double digits in league goals. 62 league appearances, just 5 goals, 3 assists. A legacy defined by stepovers that led nowhere, shots flying into the stands, and frustration week after week.
O que ha passado em Manchester, só eu sei como foi difícil estar Perdão.
The very definition of the United tax. This is the heavy shadow Cesco must escape. But unlike those who failed, he has the tools to write a different story. Powerful, relentless and raw, Cesco looks more like a future Van Persie or Berbatov than a Falcao or an Antony. Now we need to speak seriously about why Benjamin Sesko is not just another striker. He is the perfect experiment for Manchester United. The missing piece in a puzzle that has been incomplete for more than a decade. In Germany, at just 20 years old, he was already scoring goals at a rate that put him among giants, 0.82 per 90, only behind Harry Kane and Serhou Guirassy.
This Bundesliga campaign, and there's Bayer, and that...
Numbers like that are not a coincidence. They are the footprint of a natural-born goal-scorer. Sesko does his deadliest work inside the box, the place where matches are decided and legends are born.
This is Mosi Macon now, back in for...
13 of his first 14 Bundesliga goals came from that sacred area, showing a ruthless instinct, a hunger for goals that defenders could not contain. But the beauty of Sesko is that he is not only a poacher, he is evolving, transforming, showing that he can touch the ball outside the area, create danger from deeper zones, and still be decisive when the moment arrives. Many of his goals are born from one thing: explosive movement. That sudden burst of pace that leaves centre-backs chasing shadows. That raw speed clocked at 35.7 kilometers per hour, almost as fast as the quickest in Germany, and right in line with Premier League flyers like Gabriel Martinelli. He is a force of nature, nearly 2 meters tall, yet moving with the acceleration of a winger. That blend of size and speed is what makes comparisons with Erling Haaland inevitable, but make no mistake, Sesko is writing his own story. He is unpredictable. He scores with his right foot, with his left foot, with his head. 25 non-penalty goals for Leipzig, split across every possible finishing technique, show that he is not a one-dimensional striker, is a complete finisher, capable of producing magic from anywhere. He is as comfortable blasting rockets from distance as he is tapping in calmly from 6 yards. And this variety is what makes him a nightmare. Defenders cannot second-guess him. Goalkeepers cannot read him.
Oh, what a hit!
Yes, he is raw. Yes, he is still learning when to stay inside the box and when to drift out. But that is precisely why Manchester United chose him. Because Sesko is not the finished product, he is the future.
So on that one thing, I'm just like, Gyökeres. But actually, the more sensible move is...
Benjamin Sesko is no longer just a raw striker who lives for goals inside the box. Over the last 2 seasons, he has been adding layers to his game, showing that he is far more than just a target man waiting for service. His thunderbolts from distance might be spectacular, but even he knows they cannot be the foundation of a career. In 2023/24, he was overperforming his expected goals by a huge margin, scoring chances that statistically had no right to go in. Last season, those numbers settled closer to the norm, proof that his finishing is maturing, becoming more measured and reliable. When you strip away the long-range rockets and penalties, the true picture emerges. Sesko inside the box is sharp, ruthless and above average compared to his peers. 8 non-penalty goals from inside the area, outperforming the expected by more than 1.5, show that he is naturally clinical. The challenge now is not whether he can finish, it is whether he can consistently put himself in those dangerous positions more often, game after game, month after month. His numbers reveal the story of a young striker still learning rhythm. One moment he's on fire, 7 goals in 7 games, breaking Bundesliga records once held since the 1980s. The next, he hits a dry spell, going 10 matches with just a single strike. This streaky pattern doesn't expose weakness, it exposes youth. And that is why United have taken the gamble, because with the right coaching, those patches of brilliance can be stretched, extended, turned into seasons of consistency, rather than flashes of promise. He has the power, the size, the raw finishing ability, and most importantly, the hunger. What he lacks is the consistency to turn from a scorer of great goals into a great goal scorer. This is now the 3rd summer in a row that Manchester United have gone out and bought a number 9. Add the January 2023 gamble on Wout Weghorst and you begin to see the pattern, a carousel of strikers, too many experiments, too few solutions. First we need to talk about Rasmus Højlund, signed from Atalanta for £64 million plus add-ons. Touted as the new Haaland of Denmark, his youth and raw talent were undeniable, but his United story has already seen him sent on loan to Napoli in search of confidence and minutes.
Of nothing so far. I think the most important for me is just to keep working hard and stay focused, and then obviously we'll see what happens. I think my plan is very clear, and that is for me to stay and
Then there was Wout Weghorst, a tower towering 1.97 metres emergency signing from Burnley, brought in on loan during a crisis. 31 matches, 2 goals a forward who fought but never fit. And before that, Cristiano Ronaldo's dramatic return from Juventus in 2021. His first season back delivered 24 goals, but the fallout with Ten Hag saw his contract ripped apart before the end of 2022.
I was very disappointing for the communicator of Manchester United, to be honest. I never had a problem with any club, with any coach, and they suspend me 3 days, which is I felt a lot, and it was a shame.
Was it humiliating for you?
I think so, yes. I have to say the truth, what I felt.
The truth is harsh. The number 9 shirt at Old Trafford has become a burden rather than an honour. United's midfield has long failed to deliver the service that elite strikers crave, while their pressing game collapses too often to sustain attacking pressure. At other top 6 clubs, the striker's job is simple: finish your dinner and lead the line. At United, the striker is asked to cook the meal, set the table, and then somehow score on top of it. And that is why the Benjamin Sesko experiment feels different. He is not Weghorst, a stopgap. He's not Højlund, a project thrown in too early. He's not Ronaldo, a legend forced into a broken system. Sesko arrives as the future a player built, to take the weight of the number 9 shirt and finally rewrite its story. Manchester United should be buzzing about the signing of Benjamin Sesko, because it feels inevitable it's only a matter of time before this striker explodes. Put things in context. During the transfer window, 3 stories circled Old Trafford. First, that Rasmus Højlund would stay, because deep down he never wanted to leave. The Dane wanted to prove himself at United. Second, Ollie Watkins, proven in the Premier League and consistent for Aston Villa. And third, Benjamin Sesko, the choice that felt like destiny. Now look at the numbers. Højlund scored just 4 goals in 32 Premier League games last season. Compare that to Sesko, who bagged 13 in 33 Bundesliga appearances for Leipzig, or Watkins, who hit 16 in 38 for Villa. The contrast is brutal, but it gets even clearer when you examine their efficiency. According to Opta, Højlund averaged 261 minutes per goal, far behind Sesko's 145 and Watkins' 203. For goal contributions, the gap widens again. Sesko sits at 116 minutes per goal or assist, comfortably better than Watkins' 140, while Højlund lags at a painful 223 minutes. That's the definition of clinical Sesko, is simply on another level. And here's the difference in style. Højlund has pace, power, and that raw instinct to bully defenders, but he's still learning how to convert chances regularly. His movement inside the box is promising, yet he often struggles with composure. Sesko, by contrast, is already more complete. 6'5", lightning fast, deadly with either foot or his head, able to link play with his back to goal or explode in behind. He can score from every angle, from long-range cannons to poachers' finishes. Yes, Højlund has youth and hunger, but Sesko matches him in age 22 and surpasses him in output, efficiency and versatility. So after looking at all this, can Benjamin Sesko really grow into a player like Robin van Persie? The answer is yes, the potential is there. Robin van Persie was not just a striker, he was an artist with boots on. His finishing was cold, clinical, almost inevitable, the kind of player who could turn half chances into masterpieces. Sesko is starting to show glimpses of that same ruthless streak inside the box. His goal conversion, his confidence to hit from anywhere, and the power in his left foot echo the very traits that made Van Persie Arsenal's talisman and later United's saviour. Technique was always Van Persie's secret weapon. The Dutchman could caress the ball, bring down impossible passes, twist his body, and unleash strikes that seemed choreographed in slow motion. Sesko too carries that technical elegance rare for a man of his size. At 6 feet 5 inches, he moves with deceptive grace, able to link play, drop deep, and still spring forward with devastating pace. That blend of power and finesse is exactly what once made Van Persie unstoppable. Shooting from range, Van Persie turned it into theatre. Every time he swung that left boot, goalkeepers froze. Fans held their breath.
Van Persie onto his left. Van Persie!
Sesko has that same venom. His long-range strikes for Leipzig have already gone viral. Thunderbolts that crash into the top corner.
Weiser will give it away here to Cesco for Leipzig. Cesco with a cannonball. That was hit with such venom, such authority. And even two goalkeepers would have kept that one out.
It's rawer, less polished than Van Persie's artistry, but the potential is glaring with refinement. Cesco could grow into one of Europe's deadliest shooters. Dribbling was another gift of Van Persie.
Van Persie onto his left foot, inside, Van Persie, oh!
He could glide past defenders, twist, turn and carve space out of nothing. Cesco is not yet as silky, but his explosiveness serves a similar function. Give him a yard and he bursts past markers, leaving them scrambling.
Cesco, muito bem. Deu ainda aquela bola para Sociedes.
The unpredictability of movement, that's the shadow of Van Persie we see in Cesco's game. Set pieces were Van Persie's signature, bending free kicks into nets with elegance. Cesco has yet to develop this craft, but his ball striking technique suggests it's within his arsenal. Composure, both men share it. Van Persie never panicked in front of goal. Cesco, though still raw, has that same predator's calm when one-on-one, a certainty that defenders fear. Van Persie's first touch was world class, a velvet trap for any ball, no matter how wild. Cesco is close. For a giant, his control is remarkable, pinning the ball to his feet before unleashing that cannon of a shot. And like Van Persie, he is versatile, able to operate as a classic number 9, drift wide or drop deep to link play. What truly ties them is their evolution. Van Persie started as a winger, reinvented himself as a striker, and peaked at United by carrying the attack almost single-handedly. Cesco is at the start of that journey. His runs of form 7 goals in 7, then dry spells, are reminiscent of a young Van Persie before he matured into a consistent killer. The same rough edges, the same need for proper nurturing. United fans remember Van Persie as the man who brought Ferguson's last title home. Cesco now carries the same torch. Both combine height, elegance, and lethal finishing, a rare cocktail. The question is not whether Cesco has the talent, he clearly does. The question is whether United can provide him with the structure, the coaching, and the patience to polish him into the next great striker. If nurtured well, Cesco could become not just a goal scorer, but an emblem, much like Van Persie was. The Slovenian has the tools to turn fear into awe, inconsistency into legacy. In him, United may have found not just a striker, but their next legend.